Hey, good evening, everybody. It's 7:30 on Sunday evening. You guys are going to be watching this tomorrow morning, Monday morning, probably around 8 or 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. This is the second installment of College Interview Weekly. This week, we're speaking with head coach Tim Mayo from Nichols College in Dudley, Massachusetts. For those of you that don't know where Dudley, Massachusetts is at, Coach, tell me if I'm right. About an hour southwest of Boston, maybe close
Yep,
to
you've
the
got
Connecticut line. Is that close?
yep, right on the Connecticut border, just south of Worcester, Mass, which is kind of in the center of the state.
There you go. That's got to be great for kids to go to school there. I mean, Boston's got to be a good attraction for them, huh?
No doubt, they can get to Boston in less than an hour from our campus.
Oh, that's super. That's super. Well, I tell you what, Coach. Let's jump right into some stuff here. Last year you guys had a whale of a year, and you were your what coastal Commonwealth Coast Conference Coach of the Year. That's pretty good. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it's all credit to the guys we had on the team. We had a shortened season due to COVID rules where we only played about half of the teams in our league. No out of conference games after conference play started. And I mean, we were very strong offensively. I think we were in the top 10 in mostly all the categories nationally offensively. We ended up having the rookie of the year, the MVP, the pitcher of the year, and then coach of the year last year. So we hit the baseball very, very well and very hard. We broke all sorts of school records last year. First ever All-American. We broke the home run record. We broke the strikeout record on the mound last year, all in half of a season. So
That's fantastic.
yeah, it's kind of incredible when you think about it. We played 24 games, I think it was, and we broke all sorts of all-time records at Nichols.
Yeah, broke records for full-length seasons, but you did it in an abbreviated season there.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. We had a very good team, and we're making some noise in our league and trying to make a name for ourselves out in New England for sure.
Sure. So how are things going so far this year?
Good. We went aggressive. I kind of just took the gloves off and said, all right, let's go play the best teams out there. And so far, the first 3 weeks of the season, we had the number one strength of schedule country. I think the fourth and fifth week we dropped to 6, and now we're back up to 3 again.
Okay.
So, our first 5 out of 7 games were against top 25 teams.
Oh, geez.
We flew down to LaGrange, played those guys in Georgia for 3 games. We took 1 from them. We drove down to play Shenandoah recently. It was top 25. We played Eastern Connecticut State, who's number 3 in the country last week. And then in our conference, we have Salve, Roger Williams, Endicott, some really strong clubs up here that we'll be facing off with.
Yeah. Wow. Well, you got your work cut out for you, but
Yeah.
you don't get better unless you play better.
Yeah, and we're doing okay. We're around 500, and
Good.
we're battling, and we're young on the mound, but we're talented on the mound. So I'm really happy with the way our season's going right now, especially when you take into account the teams that we're going up against.
Well, good. So let me ask you a recruiting question. There seems to be this idea out there that college coaches recruit with almost a hope and a wish philosophy, rather than you having either a travel program or travel team that you're familiar with, or kids that you're specifically familiar with that you're going to look at over the summer. There's a lot of parents and players believe that if they just go to some tournaments, coaches are going to stumble upon them, and that's what coaches do, that they just go out there and roll the dice and hope that they find somebody. Is that what you do, or do you sort of have a plan to go see some people that you already know a little bit about?
Very rarely will we go and kind of plant ourselves at a field and watch. I think that method kind of comes from those showcase events where you can go for 4 hours of the day and see 200 kids.
Right.
But when you're going to tournaments, we're specifically going to tournaments to see specific players or specific teams that maybe we have relationships with or have gotten players from in the past. So, we do a little bit of that, but most of the time with the limited resources and the limited time that we have a plan. We have a target. Like, we want to go see this team, that team. We want to follow up with this kid who we saw at a camp 2 years ago. We want to go see this kid who emailed us recently. And any of our network that gives us leads on guys, we're going to go out and try to watch. I think just when we're going to an event and just sitting there and watching, not knowing anyone, that's more at like a showcase type setting. But
Gotcha.
most of the time we have a plan on who we need to see when.
Good. So, and that seems to be the reality that's out there with the vast majority of programs across the country. That's a question that I always want to address with guys, is because parents and kids, they're spending ridiculous amounts of money traveling all over the United States, and it's this whole get seen thing.
Yeah.
Like it's a passive thing. Like somebody's going to find you, stumble upon you, like a actor in Los Angeles or something.
Yeah.
So as long as we're on that topic of recruiting, and this is a little bit off, Twitter. I know that you guys have a Twitter account. I see kids all the time posting video, and regardless whether it's good video or bad video, but they seem to tag people like my organization, like Midwest Recruiting. They tag Flat Ground, which is great, and they tag PBR of Georgia or Ohio or wherever it may be, but they don't seem to tag schools or programs or coaches. And as I talk to kids about this, they say that they've been told that coaches don't want to be bothered with that. To me, if you're looking for talent and some kid has shown enough interest in Nichols College, would you be okay looking at video that he tagged you on Twitter?
I'd love it. I mean, that's like a kid just like raising his hand, like, here I am, getting my attention. I wish kids did that. I see that stuff all the time on Twitter, and we use social media a ton. If I'm sitting on the couch at night, and I want to get a little work in, I might just hop on social media and start, looking through and trying to find some talent. But I would love it if kids would tag us. That, if a kid takes the time to put our handle in, I'm going to take the time to seriously look at them. That's for sure.
That's great to hear.
Yeah.
And I tell these kids when they tag me, I'm like, I'm flattered, thank you, but I'm the wrong guy. I can't help you.
Yep.
I'm not the guy, offering roster positions or athletic scholarships or anything like that. So, okay, so here's another Twitter thing. And Coach, I'm seeing this more and more every day. Our 8th graders and sophomores saying, I'm proud to commit to pick the school. Yeah. Typically it's a Power 5, something like that. Haven't thrown their first pitch or had their first at bat of their freshman year of high school. And, that's its own set of problems, as I think we can both agree. But the larger problem is, I hear from parents and coaches, or parents and players, all the time that their freshmen, they think they're so far behind the 8 ball in recruiting, mm-hmm. that they're just never going to catch up, and they got to get into this, and like, ooh, slow down, take a breath, and I try to explain to them that these offers, they're not binding, right. They don't mean anything until there's a letter of intent from you when you're a senior. Right. But more than that is that the different levels recruit a little bit differently in terms of their timing. Yep. Division III has its timing for when they start looking at juniors and things like that. What's your timing? What classes do you actively recruit, looking for commitments for in any given year?
Yeah, so I think we're a little more on the accelerated path. The summer before their senior year is when we're looking on for those seniors. We start, so for instance, this year we started our 2023 class in November. Okay. So we're pretty much done with our senior class, our incoming freshmen for the following season.
You're pretty well done with 22s.
Yeah, we're pretty much done with 22s by last November. And that's because at our school, you get additional funds, early decision grants and scholarships if you go with the December 1st deadline.
Say that again. That's something sounds a little unique. Explain that, Coach.
Yeah. So our guys get extra grant money if they commit to Nichols, apply to Nichols, get accepted, and choose Nichols in the month of December. So typically we're going to recruit to that because it's going to allow our players to come for a little less money, because they're making the decision early. So by November of every fall, we tend to be done with our class.
So let me ask you, and this is one of these plugs for your particular institution there.
Yeah.
Is that strictly based upon the month of December? Are there any academics tied to it for that bonus money, or what is that?
Yeah, no, there's no, as long as they get accepted and they apply, get accepted before that December deadline or in the month of December, they're guaranteed that money.
That's an awesome program.
Yeah. So it's a little extra money for them. And of course, if they have good grades, they're getting a lot of academic money.
Right.
At the Division III level, your scholarship money is your grades.
Right.
So you have your grades, you have your early decision money, and then you have your FAFSA money if you apply for federal aid and things like that. So,
right.
So that's kind of why we're accelerating, because I want to be able to say, it's not going to be 30 grand for you to go here. It's going to be, in the teens or low 20s typically. And that's because they're choosing Nichols earlier than the spring of their senior year.
Right. Right.
So we're done with our class by November, and then we move on to the juniors right around then.
So you would say in general, parents and players that are worried about not having an offer by their freshman or sophomore year, they should probably just take a breath.
Yeah, they should relax. I think it does them harm because they're not giving their kids, and that player's not getting the opportunity typically to kind of look around and see what really is a good spot for them. They're kind of, a lot of times they're just jumping at the fame. They're able to put that on Instagram and brag to their friends. I think people should take their time and look at all options. Our recruits, I tell them to go see other schools. Like, I don't want them coming to Nichols because they just want to come to Nichols play baseball. I want them to look around. I want them to be sure that they want to come to Nichols because they love Nichols.
Right.
And they just happen to have the opportunity to play baseball there as well. So
that's a good thought process. I like that a lot. Yeah. And baseball is sort of kind of the bonus to the whole thing.
100%.
Yeah, very good. So switching gears here a little bit, let's talk about metrics, velocities, exit velocities, throwing velocities, things like that. There's a big push by a lot of showcase organizations and some of the larger national travel organizations to be pushing and publishing exit velocities and throwing velocities. Not that they're not important, because I think that they have their place, but what role do things like that play? Do the metrics play in your decision making?
I think they're secondary. It's just like additional info that we can gather on kids. So, if I'm at an event and I see a kid that I like, I'll hop on a website and try to see if I could get some metrics on them. But that's really just to kind of like, add to the information that we're gathering on the kid. I think a lot of those organizations do that because they're trying to make money. They want to sound like, they're the best thing going, and we got this kid throwing 94 and this kid exit velocity of 106, and they want to brag, and they should, I guess. But it's not reality. Not everyone's throwing 94. Not everyone's exit velocity over 100. It's those few kids that are, and they kind of like sometimes exploit them a little bit. But yeah, we use all that information as secondary pieces of information. It's more, do we like how this kid plays? Yes or no. Do we think can we get this kid better? Yes or no. And then, okay, let's gather all this other stuff.
Is there value in these numbers for the kids that you haven't seen yet to maybe pique your curiosity? Like, this is a kid that seems to hit the ball hard. Maybe we should take a little bit closer look at him.
100%. If we're looking for something specific, like if we're looking for a power guy, I may search social media or search, some databases and look for high exit velocity guys. If we're looking for a guy who throws really hard, I may like throw in a search or have my assistants help me and like go find me everyone who's 86, north of 86.
Right.
No doubt. If we're looking for specific things, we can target guys and kind of get leads on guys that way. 100%. And then like speed, like we're always looking at 60s.
Right.
we want fast guys. So we're always checking out, okay, how fast can they run?
All right. So this is along those lines, not anything that we discussed would be part of it, but recently I've added to, I run some showcases as well, and a metric that I've added, which I don't see, but very, very rarely, is a 10-yard burst, which is, just that first 10 yards. It seems to me that the vast majority of baseball movements are going to involve those first 30 feet. Is that a number that you think has value to knowing?
Yeah, 100%. I think that's a better way to do it too. Like that a lot more than the 60s. And like you said, I don't see it out there much. But I think it has a lot of value, and I think that would be something that I would pay attention to more if it was out there more. No doubt.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, that is now a standard in a measurement that we do at our showcases. So it's good to hear from you that you see the value in it as well. So
Nice.
as a follow up and more of a general question, tell people that are watching what you're looking for in players. What from a personal standpoint, a character standpoint, an athletic standpoint, baseball, academics, all that stuff. What's important to you there?
Yeah, I'm looking for guys who can move well in the field. I'm looking for athletes. I think most importantly, I'm looking for guys that eat, sleep, breathe baseball. It's such a grind, and especially in our program, because the best way to describe Nichols College baseball is it's a major Division I baseball program at a Division III school. So the things that we're doing are the same things that big time schools are doing, Texas, Vanderbilt, whoever. And it's such a grind, especially without the glamour of a Division I program at a Division III school. You have to absolutely love it to get to the fun part, which is the spring, the game season. So we want guys who absolutely love going up every day, lifting early in the morning, getting their indie work done, hitting the field in the afternoon for practice, long weekends of inter squads, especially during the traditional season. We want guys that absolutely love it, and we want guys that are hungry to get better and something to prove, because our program, kind of our vibe and the way we're made up is we're all, myself included, we all have something to prove here. Nichols is a small school. It's one of the smaller schools in New England, and every day we're going up against schools that have 4, 5, 6 times as many students enrolled at their school. So, we're 100% underdog mentality, and I'm looking for guys that match that, because I know they're going to help, collectively get us to that next level, every single year. So.
Gotcha. Very good. Very good. Academics, you're a Division III school. I'd like for you, if you could, to discuss academics from 2 perspectives. One, the importance as a high school kid, because again, you don't have athletic money that you can give, but then the importance of academics once they're a student at Nichols.
Yeah. So, the importance as a high school student, their grades are money at this point. So, at Nichols, if you're north of a 3.6, you're going to get the max grant package. I think this year it was like $21,000 a year for your grades. So, if you're a sub 3, you're leaving money on the table. So it's super important to get it done in high school, because you're gonna pretty much, if you don't, you're gonna eliminate some options for yourself, just because it's gonna be too expensive. Where once you get to college, our program, ever since, this is going on my 4th year, every semester we've beaten the team GPA. So I think it's 8 semesters in a row now.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I'm super proud of the guys and what they're doing in the classroom, and how serious they take, the academics as well as baseball. But we demand a lot out of our guys, and myself especially. I feel like if you're a guy that gets it done in the classroom and I can trust you there, then I know that I can trust you getting it done on the field in the weight room when I'm not looking. So I think it goes hand in hand. So, and they don't have to get great grades. I just need to know that they're maxing out their potential in the classroom. As long as they're maxing it out, I'm happy. So it's culture. It goes along with culture.
Right. It sounds like you're looking for the exact same thing in the classroom that you're on the field. Kids that are just scraping and clawing and fighting and grinding.
Scrappy, gritty kids. That's
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
we want in,
Gamers.
like, just in life. Yeah, like gritty kids in everything in their life. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff that carries over from baseball to real life, isn't there?
yeah, 100%.
Man, crazy. Well, Coach, let me give you here as we wrap things up. Let me give you a few minutes to talk about your institution, about your program. Tell players, high school players watching, maybe even some JUCOs out there that are looking for the last 2 years of their college career. What's great about Nichols? What's great about your program?
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned JUCO because we're looking hard right now for some JUCO guys. We want some, some older guys to come in for next year and the year after, hopefully. But I mean, Nichols is a great spot for many reasons. One, the location that we already talked about, to Boston, and we're fairly close to New York City as well. If guys like city life, we're in a country setting. So if you don't like the city, we got plenty of streams and lakes and hiking and all sorts of that. But we just got a new president at Nichols College, and right now we're scheduled to get a $6 million stadium, turf and lights, for not for next year, but the year after. So the 2024 season.
Okay.
So we're going to have one of the best fields in New England in 2 years. Nichols is practically fully renovated. All the campus, the buildings on campus and the res halls are pretty much brand new. We have a golf course on our campus, which is
Oh,
pretty
wow.
cool. Yeah, pretty sweet. We're one of the top schools in sport management in the nation. We're ranked in the top 5%. So the reason why we can recruit nationally is due to that major. So we're a business school by trade, sport management being our number one program. And then we also have criminal justice, which historically was, what Nichols College did when it originally opened. So,
Oh, okay.
but yeah, I mean, small school, small class sizes, you're going to know every other athlete on campus, and Nichols is actually made up of over 50% athletes. So, athletics here is big time. It keeps the school afloat. And the professors and the people who work here know that. So they really treat us well, myself, my staff, our players. They get us what we need. They're getting us brand field. And they want to see us do well. And especially with our new president, he's going really hard, and there's talk about changing divisions as well in the next 5 years or so. So they're
Okay.
doing a study right now, and obviously facilities need to be upgraded first, which is happening, and after that, we may have athletic money coming down the road for our guys. So
Yeah, good for you.
yeah,
I've got a year of eligibility left. I'm gonna be 50, but
sure,
maybe.
let's go. If you're gritty, man, if you want it,
Well, I'll grind. The body won't work anymore, but I'll be a gritty old dude out there for you. So
sounds good to me. I'm
yeah.
thinking the last thing is that Nichols is a private institution in New England, but we rival state school pricing. So we're very, very moderately priced for a private school in New England, which tends to have some of the most expensive schools in the nation.
Right.
So that actually helps. That helps us a lot because we can compete price tag wise with the state schools, but we are a private school. So.
All right. Well, hey, Coach, I appreciate your time this Sunday evening. Everybody, if you want to get a hold of Coach Mayo, his email is timothy.mayo@nichols.edu. His phone number is area code 508-213-2184. He'll also this video that's posted here on Monday morning. You'll see their Twitter handle. You can follow them if you're interested. If you got video, like you said, tag him. He'd like to take a look at you. Coach, appreciate it again. Thank you so much for your time this evening.
Thanks, Aaron. This is great. I appreciate it.
You're certainly welcome.